Millions evacuate as Hurricane Irma moves closer to Florida. Bear spray being sent to the front lines of the Rice Ridge Fire, and an eastern Montana drought is taking its toll on wildlife.
Powered by the Montana Television Network. This is the 10 o'clock news on KPAX, Montana's news leader.
Good evening, I'm Kent Lutzen. The outer bands of Hurricane Irma have reached South Florida, stirring up the surf and whipping up winds. The powerful storm that is already blamed for at least 20 deaths in the Caribbean is tracking more to the west than first predicted. People along Florida's west coast are now bracing for a big hit. Kenneth Craig reports from Miami.
As Hurricane Irma inches closer to Florida, the storm is spinning up funnel clouds and threatening tornadoes. Bands of rain arrived Saturday and the winds have already picked up. Irma is expected to hit the Florida Keys, then move up the state's west coast. Storm surge is a growing concern.
I mean, if you stop and think about it, my hometown, Naples, 15 feet above ground level. How do you survive that?
The state told more than 6 million residents to evacuate, and more than 75,000 have found their way into shelters, quickly filling to capacity.
We'll all get through this together. I'm here as well. I was displaced as well, so I'm right here with you.
This is a look inside the 8,400-seat hockey arena between Naples and Fort Myers, and more keep arriving.
We decided safety is better than insanity.
With the storm tracking west, some are saying Miami dodged a bullet, but hurricane-force winds are on the way, and forecasters say the city will still take a hit. Across the state, residents who haven't gotten out are hunkering down.
That's the mattress in case we come in at night.
Al and Carol Rodriguez will ride out the storm at their home in Naples.
By the time we decided that it was bad enough to get out, everything was sold out.
And the streets are emptying out. Curfews are already in effect in several South Florida cities as Irma gets closer to landfall. Kenneth Craig, CBS News, Miami.
We have a programming note for this Sunday. CBS News will have extensive coverage of Hurricane Irma. It all starts at 5 a.m. with CBS This Morning with a special report at 9:30. NFL Today will follow at 10 a.m. Kickoff for the Oakland Raiders-Tennessee Titans game will air at 11 a.m., followed up with Hurricane Irma update at 2 p.m. We had a big break in the poor air quality with some blue skies this evening, which is thanks to some powerful winds. Chief Meteorologist Aaron Yost joins us now in the Storm Tracker Weather Center. Aaron?
That's right, Kent. And a lot of us, I feel like, just went outside and did a nice big deep breath. Of course, not everybody's seeing great air quality, but it's better than what we have seen all week across a lot of western Montana this evening. Now, this was earlier today, our First Security Bank iCam in Hamilton, when it was pretty hard to make out some of those mountains. Hamilton, unfortunately, one of the only spots in western Montana that didn't see a great increase, or decrease, I should say, in the smoke this evening with the passage of our cold front. Don't worry, we might have some big changes headed our way by the end of next week. Kind of a pattern change ahead. I've got details coming up.
Thanks, Aaron. According to Missoula County Sheriff's Information Officer Brenda Bassett, deputies recovered the body of a 65-year-old male around 10:30 this morning. He was discovered in the Bitterroot River near Riverside Park in Lolo. The body was transported to the Montana State Crime Lab for autopsy. Bassett said events surrounding the death do not appear to be suspicious. The male's name is not being released until family members have been notified. Near Eureka, the Lincoln County Sheriff's Office is lifting the evacuation order for the entire West Kootenai area and will begin allowing residents back to their homes beginning tomorrow at 10 a.m. A pre-evacuation warning does remain in effect for the entire West Kootenai area. No change is reported this evening near Thompson Falls after expected wind activity prompted new evacuation warnings at the Highway 200 complex fires. At 2 p.m. this afternoon, warnings were issued from Guy Hall Road east along Highway 200 to Prospect Creek. This includes Clear Creek and Cherry Creek. A wind event is expected to roll through between 2 p.m. today and 9 p.m. Sunday. The Sheep Gap fire east of Plains remains the biggest concern, and evacuation warnings in that area remain the same. The blaze has consumed over 20,000 acres. 11 residents along the Highway 200 were evacuated from their homes Friday night after the Alice Creek fire moved east. Lewis and Clark County Sheriff's officials say those evacuations remain in place tonight. However, road closures on Highway 200 that happened at the same time were lifted near last night. but authorities said fire behavior today could prompt the highway to close in the same areas east of Lincoln. Crews spent the day manning the highway and have put in a slow speed zone. Law enforcement is patrolling Highway 200 and urges drivers to only use the road if necessary. Trying times can sometimes bring out the best in people. One LOLO resident found a way to help spread important community information using Facebook. MTN's Lauren HEISER has this story.
That's right. KORRIE Butler is a mother of two, president of the LOLO School PTSA, a member of the Lions Club and the 406 Family Aid Foundation. But her most recent venture has been as an organizer for the LOLO Montana Community Outreach Facebook page.
A few years ago, we were in the same situation with a fire, and we were clueless as to what was going on. That was another reason why I started posting, what people have to offer, because we didn't know what was happening, and it was very scary.
Every morning, Butler wakes up and spends time sorting through the information about the fires. She then posts the information to the page so that it's accessible to as many people as possible. So far, the page has 2,200 members. Butler says it's all about providing people with information so that they know how they can help.
You can walk down the road and ask 15 neighbors, and they all want to help, they just don't know how. And so that's kind of why it was exciting to see how fast this grew. And so everybody wants to help, they just aren't sure where to go.
Butler, the 406 Family Aid Foundation, and the Florence Civic Club Emergency Relief Fund are all partnered to raise money for people who are affected by the fires. So far, they've raised over $30,000 that will be distributed to those in need. Butler and the organizations involved will sort through the applications and try and give the money to all of the people who need it. In addition to the money, people have also donated items such as school and medical supplies. Butler said she spends a lot of time making sure that the page remains a positive and encouraging source for people who want to help out. Now back to you.
The LOLO Peak Fire has burned just under 50,000 acres and remains 35% contained. Bear sightings are becoming common in the Seeley Lake area, where garbage cans left behind at evacuated homes are drawing them into populated areas. A bear specialist arrived at the Rice Ridge Fire Camp yesterday because firefighters are also encountering bears on the fire lines. Fire Information Officer Mike Cole says multiple bear sightings have been reported in the fire area. A bear information trailer will be staffed for firefighters to get more information. He says many of the firefighters from out of state have never come across bears before, especially not grizzlies. Safety officers are adding bears to the list of things personnel need to be prepared for at the Rice Ridge Fire.
Yeah, just get a little bit more training to the firefighters, what to do to avoid them, what to do if they show up on the fire line. We'll probably learn how to use bear spray and start issuing bear spray to a few people on the fire line.
The fire camp is ordering bear spray, although not every firefighter will carry it. Now, this summer's drought is taking a toll on Montanans, but especially eastern Montanans. In this week's outdoor report, Winston Greeley shows us how the lack of moisture also impacts wildlife.
Parts of eastern Montana are enduring one of the worst drought in decades. And while this takes a toll on farms and ranches, wildlife also feel the effects of this summer's lack of moisture.
The distribution of wildlife has been shifting this summer due to the drought conditions, following both water supplies and green vegetation.
Congregations around water can lead to disease outbreaks, but the bigger impact on big game will depend on this upcoming winter. If severe, we could see declines in populations and an increase in game damage.
We hope that some of the problems can be alleviated through hunting seasons so that more of those deer can be taken advantage of by hunter than being killed by the severe winters, and that'll also help to alleviate depredation complaints and problems that we might have with too high a population.
With eastern Montana's diminishing water bodies, waterfowl are also feeling the impact of this drought.
We have noticed waterfowl, a lot of them initiated nesting around a dam, and those ponds dried up, so many of the waterfowl had to move on, and we are noticing smaller reservoirs that have dried up completely with fewer ducks on them.
In these extreme conditions, FWP urges hunters to use extra caution this fall when they head to the field.
Knowing that landowners are going to be exceptionally stressed this year, we just ask that hunters be respectful of the private landowners in Montana, and hunting is a recreation that we get to enjoy, so we hope that people will be respectful of that and maintain those good relationships.
I'm Winston Greeley, out among Montana's fish, wildlife, and parks.
Make sure to check with FWP on fire restrictions and closures before heading out to hunt. Now, coming up after the break, Chief Meteorologist Aaron Yost will have expected extreme fire weather conditions, and one school is encouraging students to join a tech-savvy school club. All of this and more coming up.